Please don't take this person out. Would you politely go to hell? Get the fuck out of my way, 'cause it's been one of those days.
Boom, they're back. I swear to God.
I like this dynamic.
What do you want, a hot sandwich? Something open-faced?
Don't try the waffles, they're terrible.
What are you talking about?
We kid, we have fun.
No smooches today.
Is this gonna work?
It's ridiculous.
What's up, hot dog?
I thought that was fun.
Mad at the world.
Live on tape. It's the fastest hour in podcasting. This is Never Not Funny. Now, here's your host, Jimmy Pardo.
Hello, everybody, indeed. Welcome to Never Not Funny. My name is Jimmy Pardo. Why wouldn't it be? Why did I feel the need to introduce myself? I don't often do that, or do I do it every episode?
You might have been thrown by the laughter.
By the giggle right at the top of the program. We'll get to deal with that. Let me welcome everybody around the room. Let me set the picture. Let me paint a picture. Let me set the tone.
Set the table.
Overcast. Let's call it overcast today. Oh, that was a mistake on your part.
Should not hit this table.
Overcast outside.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it 70. It's still about 77 degrees, though.
They call that June gloom.
Was that right?
Yeah.
I once worked with a comedian named Just June. And after her set, I went, nice set, Just June. And it made Pete Schwaba laugh like you wouldn't believe. Just the idea of calling her Just June. Not June. So what's your name? I'm Just June, darling. And hello, Just June. You know, come on, really? At any rate, gloomy day, this June gloom we've been hearing about. Let me put you around the room. From indhd.com, Elliot Hochberg is here. Elliot, fresh off of his work on the Max Fun Con Marathon. We'll talk about it. We'll dig deeper on that topic as this program goes on. To my far right, off in the corner, Dan is here. Dan, how are you, Dan? Intern Dan?
Very good, thank
You look great, Dan. The hair's growing out a little bit?
Yes.
You look terrific. You brought your lunch. What'd you bring? Burrito?
Burrito salad.
Burrito salad. All right, terrific. And you got yourself a Diet Cola as well?
That's not a thing.
Sure. That's a burrito without the wrap.
Is it like a...
Put it in a bowl.
Yeah. A burrito bowl, I would call that.
Yeah, he calls it a burrito salad. Are we okay, Elliot? Do we need to stop?
No, we can keep on.
Oh, what's happening? Andy is turning his head.
I have an actual anecdote based on your and you know, a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. You know, you're going to set me up on bits that we've arranged. But I have an actual anecdote based on that thing that Just June. I have a very
Let me introduce you first.
Very humorous story. You introduced me with that. I'm going to launch right into this hilarious story.
Put a pin in that for 45 seconds. Then to my left hand side, the entrepreneur Matt Belknap.
Hello.
Freshly shorn.
Yes.
You look great.
Thank you.
You look great. You got rid of that shaggy alt comic beard that you were wearing.
I was just giving my face a break from shaving. That's all that was.
Was that your playoff beard, as they say in Chicago?
It actually turned into that, and so now that the Lakers are in the finals, I might have just jinxed them
by shaving that beard.
Shaving early.
Get rid of it, Dan Haggerty. I don't need that bullshit.
I just couldn't do it anymore.
It was awful.
It was summertime, you know, Memorial Day. Shave it.
Ain't no use with the summertime
hair,
blues.
Shave the beard. Get rid of it.
It's not all gone.
No, it is not. It's not all. You still got.
I'm still giving my face a little break.
Yeah, but
no
it's so
razor.
much better than that bullshit I saw you with the other day. There were literally worms crawling out of that. It was awful.
That was his wife.
Hey,
but you know what,
that's
ladies
awful.
and gentlemen?
Don't let that joke fool you, folks. We are lucky to have this gentleman. Don't be fooled by that piece of shit that he just threw out at you. Let me walk you through this, gentleman. There are many people we've tried to get on this program over the years. Mm-hmm. This is one of them. I've extended an offer to this gentleman a handful of times, a dozen, maybe even a baker's dozen.
He's hard to get.
Hard to get. He
has a
busy.
joke. He has a joke in his act about how he doesn't want to do podcasts.
And I even said that to him at one point, and he said, no. He goes, I don't want to do other people's podcasts. Mm-hmm. He was very specific that it was...
That's what he said to you.
He was happy to be here.
What he said to Mark Maron is, no, I don't want to do other podcasts.
What? I don't understand.
The point is that he says that to everybody, and meaning we would be included in that.
But he's here.
Yeah,
so that would take us out of that.
Well, you know what we did is we just bugged him for 3 years, and finally he...
But Jesus Christ, we didn't get the Pope. We got we got a comedian that's got a lot of time on his hands until he gets back to shooting. We welcome him.
Back to shooting. I just had to walk off the set now.
We're lucky to have if you don't know who this gentleman is, well, you're probably on board with most of America. He is he's about to break big, as we say in this business. Mm-hmm. He's about to be on Last Comic Standing as one of the judges, and we're going to dig deep on that. that. I got to get inside your mind on that. I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. And I thought, what better way to do it than on the air? He was also a regular on Everybody Loves Raymond, which is a funny program with Ray Romano.
That's an old credit.
Yeah, sure it is. But the people,
A classic show, though.
It's a classic show that runs 15 times a day. You and that Gianni. You guys are funny together. And and then he was on, so he'd been popping up here and there with guest starring roles, and why not? He's one of the best.
You might know him from the late night with David Letterman, late show with David Letterman.
Oh, I guess that'd be the most current
things.
credit.
If you've watched the most acclaimed late night show of the last 20 years.
Pardon me? I know 7 months that were very acclaimed, friend. I know 7 months that warm-up guy got that crowd in the best mood you could ever get them.
Which one of you guys is Frosty, and which one's Heidi, and which one's Frank?
I'm Heidi.
I guess that makes me Frank.
That's your Frank, and then Dan, of course, Spitface, whatever we're going to decide to call our intern. Apparently, I called him Tabasco Ears one show, and everybody thought that was very funny.
You called him Tabasco
Yeah,
Ears?
we were trying to come up with a nickname for him.
I don't remember that.
And I said, what was he, Tabasco Ears? And I got emails saying that, in fact, one of the guys in our fantasy baseball league changed his name to Tabasco Ears based on that.
Wow.
At any rate, Andy Kindler is here. Welcome in, Andy.
By the way, Freshly Shorn was the follow-up band that I was in after Woodstock. Freshly Shorn. Is that too old since they went? And then the other thing I wanted to say was you had a Just June anecdote, and who doesn't?
Sure did.
Who doesn't? And Rick Kearns. Remember Rick Kearns?
I do, Rick Kearns, out of Denver, Colorado, I want to say.
There's a comic named Marty Levingston, and his name, and he used to say at the end of his act, "They call me Noodles." That's what they
Noodles
say.
Levingston.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
call me Noodles. And so I think it was Rick. I think it was Rick Kearns walked up to him and said, "Who calls you Noodles?" Nobody calls you Noodles. He wouldn't let him go, too. It's just a thing. Look, seriously, find me one person here who's ever called you Noodles.
There's a terrific comedian by the name of Burt Chalice. You know Burt?
The name's very
Burt's been around forever. And then he wrote for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno 15 years ago. And then, his contracts, I believe his contract did not get renewed, or maybe he chose not to go back. I don't know the answer to that. I'm pretty sure nobody turns down a writing job, but so I'll go with A. Mm-hmm. And he moved back to Ohio under the name of Chili Chalice, and started telling people that that's always been my nickname. And same deal. So the guy goes, who has ever called you Chili Chalice? Nobody. I've been your friend for 30 years. I've never heard anybody go, "Hey, what's the word, Chili?" Never. But he still goes by it. He goes by Chili Chalice. And I like Burt. I thought Burt was a good comic. I do not think chili's all that funny.
It's a little too spicy for your taste.
That's right. Not my cup of tea. In fact, if I can quote you, which my wife and I agree, maybe one of the best jokes in the history of comedy. Not only is not my cup of tea, it makes me hate tea. It doesn't get better than that.
That's in reference to Will and Grace.
I assumed it was in reference to Leno. That seems to be most of the things.
No, now I updated everything to Leno.
Boy, I thought it was in reference to tea. I completely misunderstood
You did
what the
not get
premise
this
was.
joke.
No, you know what? It's no longer my favorite joke.
You're like, finally, someone's taking on tea.
By the way,
So sick of that.
I don't know if you know this, Andy, but that's true. He quotes that on a weekly basis, and
that
always
true?
always credits you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Wow.
I always credit. Whenever I do other people's jokes on stage, I always credit it. I'm doing about 45 minutes of other people's jokes.
I mean, off stage, you just say that in conversation. And
There's no
car
question.
rides.
But I'm also doing now, Matt. You haven't seen me perform live in a while. I'm doing nothing but other people's acts.
Oh.
But I credit them after the bit.
Sure.
I'll do a Kindler. I'll go, Andy Kindler.
Yeah.
And then I go right into a new bit, and I'll go, boy, that sounds a lot like Stephen Wright. Stephen
Right.
That way I'm not stealing. And I'm getting big fucking laughs.
Look, even Zeppelin did covers.
Right?
I think.
No, they're all blues based.
Well, the thing is that yours is like a footnote thing type of deal. You're footnoting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again,
I like to. Is there a way to edit out that last comment I just made? Thought that was. I don't know if I didn't think it was going to be funny, but I thought it'd
No,
at least be pungent.
all right. Well, okay. Yeah. Footnotes.
Yeah. Footnotes.
I don't want to leave you hanging.
What is that? A footnote? Who am I? The guy who comes up with footnotes?
Who do you?
Who am I? That guy?
Hey, anyway, we're lucky to have Mandy Kindler here.
We're lucky to have me. The thing is, he's extended these invitations to me normally about like the guy at the Comedy Magic Club used to do. 4 minutes before the show, I live 4 blocks away from the Comedy Magic Club. 5 minutes a day, I get a call. I've been hearing some exciting things about you. I'd love you to come down in 3 minutes because someone dropped out.
You're saying
Same
that's
thing
what
with
I do?
Pardo.
No.
10 to 11 on a Tuesday.
Bullshit.
That's true.
That's bullshit.
I'm lying.
I always give a
lying.
nice notice. The truth is, I give minimum 24 hours because that's sometimes we don't know until the day before that we're going to be recording.
Yeah.
That's kind of changed. We've gotten on a nice schedule now where we know we're recording basically every other Monday.
We've gotten a little better about, but we're still we don't book weeks in advance.
No, we
It's,
can't.
No,
Dan.
neither do I.
This
Neither
is
do
show
I. You kidding me?
business.
Yeah.
What happens if all of a sudden I got a phone call yesterday telling me I got a meeting today? Well, this has to go on the back burner. Although this is taken, meetings wait.
You know what's amazing about Jimmy Pardo though is that Jimmy Pardo, you are on your. You are the most. I think you're the most organized person I've ever met.
Ooh, how do you? Why? What?
Well,
makes you
because
say
I said you respond to emails before I send the emails.
that? Is that true? I respond very quickly.
Very, very promptly.
Boy, some would argue with you. Most would.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I'm the only person who has. See, in the old days, it was great because people would leave you a message in your answering machine. You'd let the tape fill up. You'd throw that away. You'd stick a fresh tape in. Now, everyone knows where you are. They know you're the GPS position of your phone. They know that you got the message.
Yeah.
So I have all these accounts, Facebook accounts.
You do have that Facebook. Does Facebook still have it where people can see that that you've read their message? Is that still a?
I don't know about that
feature?
The thing that took me a long time.
That was MySpace.
Yeah, that
did
was
that.
I don't think Facebook does
The
that.
thing that took me a long time to figure out was how to turn off the instant messaging on Facebook. Which once you do, you realize.
But that's a much nicer site without that IMing, isn't it?
Instant messaging is the worst thing that's ever been invented.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm in my house for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with people. I want to read about you a little bit. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, and so now I know how to get away. The other thing is the thing about Facebook is everything is a message. It's like everyone there's always these events, right? But now if someone sends me a message, then I want to read it because it could be a personal thing. But they're sending you a message
About a show.
Yeah, I have very important this message about my clothing line.
Yeah, it's turned into spam, but you're sort of allowing it because you are friends with whoever.
I know because I accept everyone.
You know my rule.
I used to.
Three and out. You send me 3 for your clothing line, gone.
Oh, you defriend them?
Done.
Don't people come back to you and go, Jimmy, I thought that we were going to have a relationship or some type of thing.
One guy did, and I just explained to him, I said, I'm more than happy to be your friend, but
You drove to his house and you was one-on-one conversation?
I sat down with him. I sat down with him, I don't like a Frost Nixon.
You invited him out to lunch.
6 days in a row. We did 6 days in a row. And just like Frost Nixon.
When did he finally crack?
About day 5. Day 5, I finally got him. And I knew I got him. I could see it in his eyes that he's about to go. And then he went, Andy. You know. You ever watch the original Frost Nixon, Matt?
Not good.
I couldn't watch the movie. The movie seemed terrible.
Oh, the movie was terrific.
Let me finish. That's exactly the kind of a movie they should be making with people who look a little bit like the original people.
That was I enjoyed that movie. That was that my number 1 for that year?
I don't know. No, I don't think it was.
What was better than that? Was that Slumdog? Slumface?
Yeah, I think so.
But maybe I like Frost Nixon better than Slumface.
Well, I don't know. You might have seen a different movie because they're Slum Face. I'm not familiar.
Was the Siskel and a guy who's not as into it as Siskel?
Yeah, but Matt, you know I'm talking about Slumdog Millionaire. You know that.
Well, especially because you actually said it correctly first.
Yes, then I
And
call it Slum Face.
You went back and did a joke.
Sure.
Slumface. I was going to do another ex-wife joke or something, or crawling out with the worms.
Andy Kindler is our guest. We're lucky to have
I
him
will
here.
say though,
What?
I'll back you up on him being very organized. I don't know about the email, but you are. People might not know this about you, even after years of podcasting. But you are very organized in your life. You write down the mileage of on your car of when you go for tax purposes.
For tax purposes, sure.
You actually write it down, which I've never seen anybody do. Usually people just ballpark it, right? You go, well, I know I went this far, and then you.
Should we give out the address to the IRS from Mr. Ballpark? Yeah, a lot of people. What do I make?
wait,
They ballpark it.
Do you? Write
I
down
have
your-
everything logged in, my
Do
friend.
you?
Everything is logged in.
that's pretty standard. If you,
Okay.
I think it comes from being a road comic that you learn to write down.
But
your
you do that
mind.
with other stuff too. I feel like you're very.
You know what? I
organized.
don't disagree. I'm very organized. I like things neat. I like things nice and
Yeah.
trimmed. I don't like my haircuts. I like them off the collar and tight. That's how I keep my details. That's how I organize my whole house is off the collar and tight.
I have an MP3 of all my like I go. Not only do I have the mileage, I have a thing. I nosed my late model sedan out into the driveway and edged out onto Claremont.
And you save that in MP3 format. You say?
Yes. Yeah, save that.
What do you do? You nose out? Is that
I
what you
nosed
do?
my late model. That's always like those mystery books. He nosed his late model sedan into the. If I had any other words, I'd add them there.
Hang on. I think Dan may be having a seizure. You okay, Dan?
I'm good.
I looked over. You were just
What happened
kind
to
of
him?
staring at the printer. It was. I was very concerned about you. Are you supposed to be keeping notes or something? What are you doing over there?
He is.
All right.
Got it.
I think he's terrific. Mm-hmm. This young man, Dan Katz is his name.
Hi, Dan.
He's a Jew.
How long you been with the organization?
Like 2 months.
Ouch.
2 months.
No matter what he said, I was going to make it like a big thing. Ouch.
That's another one of my favorite. We talked about before the show started. My favorite jokes. Another one is that when people, I'll go. So how long do we get over there? Oh boy. He could have said a day. Could have said 20 years. It's going to be oh boy. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
What's happening now? Oh, we getting a shot of Dan?
I'm trying
Dan
new
cam?
things.
What's
I don't mean to distract anybody, but that tripod cannot be level.
It isn't.
Can we agree with that?
But it is.
It isn't, but the camera is.
Yeah. At least
Okay.
yeah.
MTV has requested a shaky cam version of the show.
We go to sepia every now and then too. I should tell you that. Just for no reason, it'll switch to that.
Sepia.
History Channel requested that.
Kids love sepia these days.
I love it. What about that sepia 3.0? Do you like that character?
What do you send that to Sex and the City too? Here's some actual lines. Did you read that review by A.O. Scott?
No.
This is my favorite review.
No. Now, wait. Who's the reviewer?
A.O. Scott is a New York Times reviewer, and the thing that's so great about it is he's an actual Sex and the City fan.
He loves the program.
He loved the program. In other words, he kind of said it was a guilty pleasure.
Can I give one of those for the video?
I have to admit, even as a half, I always made fun of the show, but as a half-hour thing every week, I watched it just because it was watchable, no commercials.
Whoa.
And I'd have a Cosmopolitan, and me and my friends would get together and we talk.
Wait, let me ask you a question. And you just agreed with Mr. Kindler.
Yeah.
I watched it with my wife.
You would sit there and watch it and not want to throw a brick through the top. I can't take
I wanted
the
to,
first
yeah.
line. I would just, it's like me and Handler, man. I get to, not Evan Handler. I got no problem with that guy.
Scrug?
Shrug? I got no trouble with
You have
Shrug.
no problem with Shrug?
You and I are the only two.
Oh,
people-
I do too.
Three people know him as Shrug.
I can't. I still call him that, and nobody knows
So
what
do
I'm talking
I.
about. What was that
It's
show
like
called?
you know. It's like you know.
It's like you know.
I actually like that show.
That show was written by a guy. I swear to God.
Larry Charles, right?
No, it wasn't another guy. It was a Seinfeld guy. But it was literally written by a guy who I predict came out to L.A. in the 80s, got immediately a staff job, and never went outside until he did that. It's like, you know, so he thought people were still talking about what's up with the pizza here? How's the traffic? And so all the jokes were like jokes you come up with one weekend being in L.A.
You know what? You're not wrong about that.
And it was basically Seinfeld in L.A. Like if you look back, if someone unearthed that show, they'd be like, "Wow, this is the most blatant ripoff of Seinfeld."
Shrug.
3 guys in the world know who Shrug is. I love it. We're gonna get emails. I know who Shrug is too. I understand.
Evan Handler from Sex and the City was Shrug.
But here's the thing: we watch Sex and the City. I would mock it all the time because
it's fun.
But and this is what A.O. Scott was saying. Like, here's the actual lines. Lawrence of my labia is on one of the lines in the
Because
movie.
they're in the Arabian
and
desert.
Bedouin, and Beyond is another actual joke.
You've got.
Have you ever seen the first movie I just finally saw because it was on cable? And they said Miranda's out in Los Angeles.
Oh,
That's
boy.
a line. How's that a line?
How are you watching it?
In a skirt?
How I can't. I would be so furious. Like even the billboard going down Sunset Boulevard makes me want to take my car into a pole. Like look at how fucking proud she is of herself in that photo. And
Is
just because you play somebody that's into fashion doesn't mean you're into fashion.
That billboard? That's either.
SJP, as apparently we're supposed to call her now.
Well,
Is that true?
Oh yeah, on Sesame Street. I didn't realize that some people have names where you just assume that's their middle name, but on Sesame Street she says, "Hi, I'm Sarah Jessica," and she just keeps saying Sarah Jessica. Apparently, her name is Sarah Jessica. You can't just call her Sarah. That's a faux pas.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I
Wow.
do? I save myself the time. I don't call her. And by the way, here, speaking of Facebook, here's another thing I've done with Facebook. Anybody that's made a Sarah Jessica Parker horse face joke in the last week, gone.
Oh, yeah.
You're gone. So any Jimmy Pardo fans who got defriended this past week, that's why. Look into one of your updates. If you made any...
Why are you so angry about that, Joe? I mean, it's not a
Because I think it's fucking childish.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and anybody goes, I hear that Sarah Jessica Parker is going to be doing a Seabiscuit too. Delete. Gone.
Right. Yeah, I agree with. I don't like.
I just think
I don't like jokes like that.
I just
I
feel
like
like it's
jokes like
been
that.
done. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my point.
Well, but did you hate it at first?
Yes.
Well, then that's not your point.
I don't like jokes that make fun of people's appearance.
Yeah, I know.
Why the long face, Jimmy?
That's not a bad joke. That's a good joke. That's a classic. That's a classic. Horse goes into a bar. Why the long face? That's a good
Right,
piece
but
of
if you
it.
say that about Sarah Jessica, look out.
I think it's wrong.
No, I think Jimmy's right on that. I've never liked appearance. I don't like
you guys,
jokes.
because you guys are talented and can come up with good jokes, but people who aren't talented, they need those jokes. Don't take those away from them.
Well, also, I think when people are so annoying, then people think, then they go after every part of avoid them because everything annoys them. Did you see
Yeah,
that? Did you see that show? That show that was on. It's called "Who Do You Think You Are?" It's on CBS.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
yeah. It's about your family tree, and you go and you explore.
Oh wait, no, I did. I saw the one with Matthew Broderick.
Well, Matthew.
Speaking of Sarah Jessica Parker, that's her husband, Andy.
I knew that.
They're married.
I knew that. So they had one with Spike Lee finding out about his past.
Oh.
And it was very interesting. But then when Sarah Jessica Parker was about her past, she was just overly dramatic about everything. She'd go and visit some guy who's like an expert on what's it called, the family tree. What is it? Ethnoschmo.
No.
Ethnoschmo.
Ethnoschmo. And they go, Ancestry.com. And she goes to his office. She goes, I have buckets of questions for you. Buckets. And I was like, oh, God. This is the worst idea for her, is to find out more reasons why it's that she's related to some queen in the past. More reasons to be a celebrity.
Did you find, were you not I will admit, when she was on Square
cute.
Pegs.
Oh, yeah.
Not still.
No.
With that horse face?
No,
You can't possibly find that attractive. What, are you going to ride that to the fucking stable?
no, I think she's charming. I can't help it.
What? You're talking about it? It's like you're talking about somebody completely different than who I'm talking about.
I think she's charismatic. I know she's a horrible person. I see that she's a horrible person, but I don't know. She's sparkling to me. I can't help it.
You don't just see her as a fraud.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
Interesting.
Yeah, because of Square Pegs, and because when she was younger, I don't know, she just had that. She was. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't disagree. She used to ride her bicycle in Westwood, and a friend of mine knew her and would say hello to her. This is in 1986, and I was like, "Hey, I like that girl. She's cute." And then hey, that's the girl from Square Pegs. Blah blah, on and on.
Yeah.
And then, but man, the last 10 years, no, thank you. No, thank you.
She doesn't look great, but I find her something about her.
And I need to say something before we move on. I used to make a joke making fun of Ted Kennedy's head,
Drinking,
the size of his head.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. I want to make very
that's
clear.
political.
That's okay. That's political. Certainly,
Political
you're taking
humor.
out today's.
Obviously,
That's right out of the paper. That's right out of today's topics. But
People don't understand political humor all the time, but what that's called is satire.
Mort Saul would discover that. He would discover, and he would mention how big his head was, and just having looked at the paper.
by the way, cut to somebody, and I can imagine somebody out there going, "Really, Jimmy?" And then going through like this
Every joke that
everything.
you've made.
Here's you making fun of this person's face. Here's you making fun of this guy's hair. I mean, it's appearances. I don't think people can control that.
No, I agree with you 100%.
But what about things they can control?
Example.
Like, what if they got a horrible facelift that looks wrong and weird?
Yeah, I still feel bad making fun of it.
I mean, they didn't.
I know
do
I'm probably
facelift, but-
hypocritical because I probably have made jokes like that, but I'll make fun of a haircut. I'll make fun of what
Outfit.
an outfit because
outfits. I think outfits are fantastic to make fun of.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Can you control your own taste? That's sort of genetic on some level.
Well, you're dressed like a page boy today, so I didn't want to say anything. But at some point,
look at Andy and I. Collared shirts, blue.
Yes.
Right. What are you going to say?
Our eyes pop. That's what it made. Right? Nobody.
What
Gets
is that? A poplin?
What's that?
I don't know
It's
what
a Ted
Poplin
Ba-
is.
It's a Ted Ba-
What are you
it's a- no, it's
ripping
an
me off?
autograph.
What are you doing?
It's an autograph shirt.
Yes, I am.
I got two jokes. One of them is, what is that? A poplin. What is that? A poplin?
I didn't know poplin was yours.
Yeah, that's it.
The structure was yours. I didn't know.
Was that a poplin? Was that a 2/8?
What is that? A blend?
What
do you got?
A blend? Was it a gabardine?
What is a poplin?
I don't know. It's just fun to say.
Dan, look it up. What's a poplin?
Really?
Well, he already started looking up.
Oh, okay.
It's a Mary Poppins on an attitude with
boy. Andy Kindler's our guest, folks.
From hell. From hell.
I
Hell from hell.
apologize. We just missed 4 minutes ago. We should have had a sweep of the out-of-town scoreboard, and we didn't do it.
Oh, let's do it.
Dan, go.
It's a ribbed fabric used in clothing and upholstery.
Ribbed fabric.
Oh, that's a nice fabric, the poplin.
Yeah.
I use that as a condom.
For her pleasure.
No.
For her pleasure. What does that mean?
Inside out for his,
His pleasure. AIDS. I don't want to get that again.
Well, was that before we started that you were doing your new character? I think it was.
It was.
Give the audience a little taste of your new character.
Comedy. It's the classic comedy of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Hey, remember this one back from 1987? Jim from Taxi. How about this classic from 1993? Hey, did they ever find out where those McNuggets came from?
Brother.
Classic comedy.
I'm a fan of the comic, 22 years old, that you'll see, I'm on the road, and the guy will do a guest set. Now, this guy's good. He goes up and does the Jim from Taxi. How does a 22-year-old kid even know who that is? He's seen other comedians do the impression. That's it, right?
Yeah,
He's not at home watching reruns of Taxi on Nickelodeon, Nick at Night at 2 in the morning going, I got no impression of that guy. It can't be.
No.
I'm fired up about a
You
lot
are
of things
upset
today.
about it. This one's from 1957. Is Mort Saul talking about Eisenhower?
I like Ike. Keep that in mind.
Mort Saul talking about Eisenhower with not being that humorous about it. 1957.
Is that all, Mort Saul?
Oh, Mort Saul. Mort Saul has an annoying habit of laughing at. Let's go after Mort Saul. Now it's time to go after him.
time, right?
No, but he has an annoying habit of laughing after his jokes a lot.
Really?
It's
At least he likes them.
At least he likes them.
He performs locally quite a bit at McCabe's Guitar Shop, a folk music place.
He does?
He performs there, and maybe once every 3 months.
Like, where have all the flowers gone? That kind of a thing?
Where is that?
Because it's a folk shop.
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. He goes up in his, with his collar shirt with a
reading
sweater
about
over
that.
it, and
There's a lot of rustling from Dan.
Did you see that?
doing,
What is
Dan?
it? Oh, that's great. That's a good time.
that was loud. It was
Why was that so loud?
That was like Foley work. That was really loud.
Seriously, is it because Andy's mic is pointed towards him?
You're the one who told me.
It's side address. You make that
but
clear.
This
Yeah.
used to point the other way, and now I'm wondering.
You told me to speak from the bottom of the mic.
Well, I want you to speak from the heart, obviously.
Did you guys see that
Or-
special on? I finally saw it. It's been out 2 years. That PBS special about comedy with youngsters. Make them
Make them laugh. Youngsters,
Make 'em-
wisecracks, and
Was that-
yeah.
buffoons.
Was that the one with Gallagher in it? I saw something like that.
Seltzer pantsers, ne'er do wells, wiseacres.
I want to hear your take on it, but
No, you do your thing.
my take on that was they always got to, like, if it's a scale of 1 to 9, they got to 8 on everything. Like, they never, like Lucille Ball, they bring you up to a thing and then go, but Lucille Ball wasn't the only funny lady. Here's Carol Burnett. Tell me more about Lucille Ball. Like,
Yeah,
they never finished. And Carol Burnett opened the door for the likes of a Jenny McCarthy to have her. And they never got deep enough.
And they also categorize the whole idea of categorizing everything. And now they're the finger pokers. And it's 20 years of guys, and then the Marx Brothers poke someone in the eye with this. But the thing that got me really angry was Bill Maher was his in praise of Mort Saul. He was saying. Lenny Bruce, his problem was he forgot to be funny. And I was like, oh my God. Like that. That was the problem with Lenny Bruce. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I talking about my trial? Oh, I forgot. But just the idea that Bill Maher, you have to be way more hilarious than Bill Maher to be putting down Lenny Bruce. Don't you?
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Who's allowed to put down Lenny Bruce?
Well, not Bill Maher. Not Bill Maher, who after 30 or 50 years of stand-up still cannot execute stand-up. He does a joke about Obama, and then he goes, I kid the president. Every single
You're right.
time.
You're right, he
could not be more uncomfortable with himself as a stand-up. He should not be putting down Lenny Bruce.
You
He
enjoy
shouldn't
his
be.
program? You enjoy Bill Maher's program?
I used to like his program because it was the only show on TV where people were actually in depth talking about politics, and now I can't stand him. I can't stand his rampant atheism where he defines what you believe as. He tells you what what he thinks you think God is, and then he argues against that position.
Let me.
Oh, you think God is? You believe the Bible literally, don't you? No, I don't believe the Bible. Well, then, then you're wrong.
I don't disagree with you. I will say this about all atheists: leave me alone.
Yeah.
It's as annoying as a born again. They're so proud that they discovered religion is bad and crazy and a business, and that they were, somebody, I can't get into that kind of detail as I was just going to, but I received an email from a guy that says, all my atheistic thoughts are with you. Okay, that doesn't have any, you don't have to fucking jam your agenda into this
Right.
email.
Yeah, not
it's not applicable.
Yeah.
In fact, it's inappropriate.
You know what the truth is, and I really believe this so much, is that the people who are so acting one way are obviously covering up for something is going on with
What
them
are they
another way.
covering up for, Andy?
They believe that God really was an old man who lived in the clouds at some point. The people say David Cross was like very religious when he was a kid. I don't know if that's true or not, but for some reason they're reacting against their own anger from some belief that they
I
had
agree with
later.
that.
Sure.
And so it's like, I don't care what people believe, but why do you have to? But the idea they make you feel like you're stupid. if
Well,
you believe
I
in
guess that's
God.
what I'm saying about the atheists. And we have a friend of the show is is an atheist and a good friend of mine that I grew up with. But it's always that they try to make you feel you don't really believe in church, do you? And then, well, I haven't been in 30 years, but good for you. What do you mean good for me? I chose not to go, not because I'm some nut job that discovered that my whatever. If I know where to end that sentence, because I'm so rattled, I'm so angry about this fucking email that I got from this guy.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Well, give a perfect example is Lorne Michaels. They were talking about. On what was it? Bill Maher show. Once he was interviewing Chris Rock, and they were talking about how Warren Thomas. Remember Warren? Mm-hmm. He wouldn't wait for Lorne Michaels, I guess, for the 4-hour meeting. When
Warren Thomas was a comic,
really brilliant comic, and passed away. But the whole thing was they were talking about how he wouldn't play the game. It was a whole long thing. But anyway, he didn't stay for the 3-hour meeting with Lorne Michaels. And so the thing is, I've asked literally 10, 15, 20 people if that's true, and they have all told me that they waited 4 or 5 hours or 2 or 3 hours for Lorne Michaels. Now, there's a guy who obviously, at his core, Lorne Michaels, has issues with his own feelings of his own talent, so he has to play these games.
So, and just to make it clear, you're suggesting that they say it's a 4 o'clock meeting.
Right.
And then he doesn't show up till 8 o'clock.
Or 6 or 7.
But he makes people wait
at least 2
around.
hours.
Thank
at least
you.
2
Go ahead.
hours. And to me, that's just a way of making the people who will wait, he's hoping that he can dominate, and then he can control them. And this is a guy who's run that show just from control. And so the people who move up are the people who are willing to play the game. And it's like nothing about it is about being funny, And there's great people on Saturday Night Live over the years, but it's run by this guy who basically I think is a blowhard. Lorne Michaels is a blowhard. And I don't know where I'm going with it exactly.
Well, out of show business.
No,
the man runs it. What are you doing?
But he's an egomaniac. And when the show started, at least he was familiar with who the people who were.
Before he got power, he had to probably be a little more in touch with.
Yeah, he was more in touch, and now it's just like it's all games. Well, why would you how could you make someone wait for a meeting for 2 hours more than once, and not mean that you're a jerk?
But don't you find that? And I understand that was a question. Yeah, I'm going to take it as rhetorical. Don't you find that happens in show business in general? You show up and you have an audition, and the producers make you wait 2 hours, and then you're sitting there like an asshole waiting to audition for Jimmy Jacks or whatever the hell the name of the program is. And they're, hey guys, sorry the producer's running late, and then you just have to sit there and take it.
Well, Bruce Smith, our manager, used to say that he liked this joke that I had about when you go to these commercial auditions, and I'd say, let's keep the rejection moving. I hate that. That's why I stopped going on commercial auditions. I couldn't stand that they'd let you leave. I think it's rude when they make you wait an hour, but they don't do it on purpose though. For regular auditions.
Yeah, they're not just sitting in their office doing other things like, hey, has it been 3 hours yet? Okay, I can go see this.
I hear what you're saying. I guess I'm giving Lorne Michaels the benefit of the doubt. I have a big SNL audition next week. And I think this guy's terrific. And going in now, I know I may have to wait a little longer than I anticipated.
Sure.
But I've got some characters worked out. I'm going to do some very funny things.
Well, no, I meant to say, all this was to say that I really I like what he's doing. I don't know. But,
I think that came across.
Well, the basic point I'm making, though, is that that's why I think so many times throughout I'm putting quotes throughout my career, I've been in arguments and, on shows and things where I'm trying to make something better, but the other person has a different agenda. And that's what I feel about Saturday Night Live. Lorne Michaels, the show is about, and if you read the book that Tom Shales put together, where he basically climbed up Lorne Michaels' ass for 3 years, it's all about Lorne Michaels. It's all about his own feelings of inadequacy. And when Alec Baldwin thanked Lorne Michaels when he won the Emmy, you must have run out of every person in your life. You must have nobody that you're close to that you haven't thanked already to be thanking Lorne Michaels.
Oh, wait a minute. But Lorne Michaels produces the show he's on.
The program.
I'm making a joke. I'm making a little bit of a joke there.
Listen, this show is not about funny. This show is about getting
exactly.
We're getting into feelings. We need to now.
No one's backing me up on this thing, though. You all have meetings with him?
I have an audition next week. I got to go in. I got this androgynous character called Terry, which is going to be great. You don't know if it's a guy or a gal. It's funny. What's that?
You have a cheerleader
I got a pom-pom character.
Okay.
I got a pom-pom character, which is very strong, and I got another fella called Wolf Boy. And you're gonna love the heck out of this
Well,
guy.
how about let's take MacGruber for example. MacGruber, like Will Forte was saying that before the movie came out, he was like, going, people are think it's just going to be like the stuff that's on the show, and that's not what people are thinking. The people are thinking, how the hell is this going to be a goddamn movie? Is what they're thinking. How is this thing that doesn't even sustain for 60 seconds?
It's gonna be.
How is that going to be? How does someone not take someone and shake them until their insides break to say, do not make this fucking stupid movie. This movie's going to suck. I guarantee you.
Did you see it?
No, and I never will see a movie I criticize. That movie is going to suck.
Now, let me tell you, my wife and I saw it.
Let me finish.
There are 3 really funny laugh out loud moments. I mean, there was a time where I was laughing I couldn't stop laughing. And I was like, this is great. I need the release.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that I'm laughing. But is it a good movie? Oh, no. No, it is not.
I don't doubt that.
It's horrible.
I would say, what better thing to turn into a movie than something that they haven't done anything yet? So, like, it's better to turn that into a movie than, like, a book that everyone loves that's like, oh, what a rich and wonderful story, and then they turn into a movie, and it's like, well, we had to cut 40% of it.
Like Gone with the Wind?
The Tongue Kissers is coming out. You know the bit where they kiss people on the mouth?
Really?
Saturday Night Live? No, I'm just kidding. No, but here's the thing.
Because I know what you're saying. It's a one-joke sketch.
Well, I don't think there's anything funny about explosions. It's like date
Right.
night. Why would you put a car chase scene in comedy?
Well,
There's
that-
no reason.
Did you
It
see
wasn't
that
funny
movie?
in Stripes. It wasn't funny in any time I've seen anyone
Blues
chase
Brothers?
someone around. Blues Brothers is different. And
Blues Brothers is different.
I never saw that movie. Can
Really?
you believe it? And my wife says, how can you not have seen
amazing.
Blues Brothers?
But the Blues Brothers car chase is a big. The whole movie's a chase.
Yeah.
yeah, but did
I
you
was just giving him. I was trying to.
And the Blues Brothers, they took these 2 characters that did nothing but really sing on SNL
Right.
and gave them a story. That was different than.
That's what I mean about MacGruber is like they haven't really done anything on the show with the character MacGruber except this one joke. So there's plenty of room to expand.
Right, but remember, like Wayne's World, here's the typical thing about they were asking Lorne Michaels about Wayne's World and why it worked. He goes, "Well, people don't care about plot because when people watch Duck Soup, nobody remembers if Fredonia won." I mean, come on, anybody who makes a quote like that should be banned from the country. Should be sent back to where he came from.
You think back to Canada?
Yeah, no one remembers who the Fredonia won. Really, Lorne? Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about, all right? The people who watch Duck Soup, they don't care about your take on it.
Well, hang on. Did Fredonia win?
That's right, Jimmy.
Did Fredonia win?
We don't care. Nobody cares about whether
You know what?
Fredonia won.
I'll go one further. I don't remember Fredonia.
But it's a war. Duck Soup's like a war
war.
movie.
It's a war
funny.
I thought that was the one on the cruise ship.
But Wayne's World, at least he had a basement. He had somewhere he lived. You know what I mean? You got an idea that, I see.
Right, he's got a cable show, and then what's the logic? Okay, well, what if someone took it
Something's
away?
going- What's that?
The movie is, what if someone took his show away, or when they try
Right.
to turn into a network thing and whatever? I don't remember.
Well, did you see MacGruber?
No.
Okay.
But I was more interested in seeing that than a lot of these other SNL movies, just because I think Will Forte is funny.
My beautiful wife and I saw it at the Chinese theater, which probably holds 1,000 people. How many would you say that holds? The
Yeah, probably 1,000.
750 to 1,000.
Yeah.
There had to be upwards of 45 people there on opening night. So you walk like we even got the I haven't been to a movie on a weekend night in ages. That's not at the ArcLight where you can buy your tickets in advance. So we go, we better get down there early. And so I go, you go in and get the seats. I'll get the popcorn. Walk in, our voices are echoing. There's
Yeah.
nobody in the play. It was unbelievable.
Well, there's another movie coming out, another SNL movie called Bad Impression, and it's about a comic who's forced to do impressions of people he can't do, like Obama he'll do, and he can't do it. And so he can't get booked because his impression, nobody can figure out. He's not at the race of the impression. Bad Impression, starring Fred Armisen.
Fred's a friend of the show.
I see. Here's the thing.
We like Fred.
Here's the thing.
How do you do this? Don't you?
I'll tell you why.
Live in fear.
I'll tell you why.
Don't you live in fear?
Here's the thing. Last year, I did a speech in Montreal, which you know I do. And last year,
I think it's terrific.
And last year I did it. And after
Tell
last
people
year,
what this is, because it's famous.
It's called the State of the Industry, and every year I kind of say what's wrong with comedy. And
For the past year.
for the last 15 years, this is maybe 15th
No,
year.
but-
Oh yeah. And I never repeat any material. I try not to. I never repeat any material from the year before. It's all about what's been going on in comedy for the last year. And the last year I had this the speech, and it was like in this long narrow room, and they had these 2 microphones that no one told me the whole speech speech were supposed to be together. And so I'm here, and it's like the people who run it are like and speaking French or whatever, and they're afraid to interrupt me. So it was just a nightmare. But one thing I realized from the speech was that I was going a little softer because of the thing you're talking about there. I think sometimes, and I realize now it's like I think Fred Armisen is hilarious, but that doesn't. So the point is not about Fred Armisen being hilarious. The point is he shouldn't be doing Obama, and someone should stop him from doing Obama, and he should never have done Obama to begin with. That's so I can make both comments, can I?
Oh, I think you can.
Yeah.
But
we're not going to join you because we're pussies.
I will.
okay?
Matt,
Do you think he does a great Obama?
Listen, it's not what I think. It's not a matter of my opinion.
Chevy Chase did a great Gerald Ford.
Chevy Chase did the best Gerald Ford impression you've ever seen.
Right. Is that changing the subject?
No, but it was nothing like Gerald.
He didn't
was
do it.
nothing
He
like
didn't
it.
do it
He
at
didn't
anything
impress.
close.
Oh, so you're making that claim about Fred Armisen? There's not one funny bit that they've ever done with him doing Obama. Because here's the bit. I think that we're going to try to get the thing.
It's not a bad
And
Obama.
it goes to live from New York. It's Saturday night.
I think you should audition.
I think I will.
Wait a
And
minute.
in blackface.
Are you
what
ready to
could be
wait 4
more
hours?
insulting? Yeah, I'll wait 4 hours in blackface. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm doing my
Why
gay
you
voice.
gay? Why you gay?
I'm in my blackface.
Why are you gay showbiz guy?
That's his take on Obama, that he's a little gay.
Now listen, Matt knows this as well as anybody. In fact, he gets angry with me about it. I badmouth Chelsea Handler to a fault.
Just because her show's horrible?
Yes, and she's a horrible human being.
I don't know about her.
But I live in fear that I'm going to run into her at Best Buy.
I'm the same way with
I
you.
live in fear I'm going to turn the corner at Target one day and she's going to go, oh, I heard that you, and I'm going to have to go, yay, you're more famous. Like I get to spin it.
Right.
So to make it, you're more famous than me, I'm less than you, and so I'm allowed to. How do you live your life?
Well, it's perfect.
I'm not judging you. I'm truly asking.
You're absolutely right, and it's first of all, I hate confrontation. I don't want to get in a fist fight with anybody. And I'll give you a perfect example. Like Ken Ober passed away, and we went to his memorial, and Adam Sandler was there. I haven't seen Sandler in years and years and years. So I said, "Hi, Adam. How's it going?" And he goes, "How's it going?" He goes, everything's okay. I've let all that stuff go."
Oh no!
He said to me, "Everything's cool, man." And he was very nice. Like everything's, I'm not gonna something like, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna knock you out." He was kidding around. I said, "Well, you mean normally you would knock me out?" Yeah, that type of thing. But then, so the point is, like, when before Sandler, when Sandler was on Saturday Night Live, I was a huge fan of Sandler, and I used to see him in the clubs all the time. I was a huge fan, and then. What happened was that I'll tell you exactly what happened. He made when Happy Gilmore came out, there was this movie and it was called Bulletproof. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, with Damon Wayans.
Right. So I'm reading the script for Bulletproof. And in the script, it said the ugliest woman in the world walks up to Adam Sandler. Is in the script, right? So for some reason, that made me enraged that they would have an audition for the ugliest woman in the world. And I said, "What kind of fucking crap is this?" And I threw the script across the room. And then that night at Improv, I was upset about it. And then Adam Sandler had been on Conan, and he was on Happy Gilmore was coming out. And Conan says, "Should I set the clip up?" And my joke was, "Oh yeah, like you really need to set the clip up for Happy Gilmore, otherwise you won't know what's going to happen." I'll set it up for you. Adam Sandler's going to go through a chicken coop and the feathers will fly around. I'll set it up for you. He's going to come from underwater. He's going to spit out a fish. I'll set it up for you. Adam Sandler wouldn't read a script if you tied his head to the table and with toothpicks to his eyeball. So after the thing, one of his friends who is in his movie came up to me and was ready to punch me out.
Who's this guy?
It was Alan Covert comes up to me.
Covert wants to fist fight.
He was like, "Well, I'm not, I don't want this to go to trial." But I mean, he was in my face, and I was very, very scared about it. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm going to get my ass kicked." Now, obviously, he must have told Adam. I didn't realize that it actually did cause a thing
between you and Adam.
Well, it did. It did. And I started out with Judd Apatow in the mid '80s and all this stuff. So I was like, I started out with these guys, and I realized, and I think it really did affect my career that I went out and said these things, and I would say to myself. And it's a weird thing because the reason why I went after Adam was because I think he is talented. And that's the weird thing about it. It's like the people I tend to go after, like Jim Carrey or Leno over the years, are people I actually feel like have talent, but they're like going the low road or they're going the most commercial route. Yeah. And so I don't even know if that's true, my take on it, but that's what was my take on it then. And then plus my own envy and jealousy of where my career was, all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, it absolutely has affected my career and affected everything about what I do, and also fear of confrontation, all that kind of stuff. And yet I can't stop doing it because I feel like it's true to what I want to do.
Well, it's also, I don't want to use, because I think there's a negative connotation to this, and there's no way not to be. You've painted yourself in a corner. That you're the guy that comes out and speaks the truth about show business. That's kind of been your MO for the past 15, 20 years. So if all of a sudden you went on stage and didn't take down successful comics and or actors, people would go, hey, what's up with Andy? Why is he talking about soda pop?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that was the type of thing with Last Comic Standing when people like saying,
well, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
How we doing?
Andy Kindler, for those that don't know, we're in great shape.
No, good.
For those that don't know, Andy is going to be one of the 3 judges on the and premieres June 7 on the National Broadcasting Company, which of course, I'm boycotting it ever since I got fired. Now,
what happened?
I worked for Conan. I don't know if you heard, he's not on the air anymore.
I didn't know what the hell.
Yeah, Conan's not on the air anymore.
If anyone's casting the guy who has amnesia,
what? What's up? Andy's.
Have I revealed too much personal?
No,
details
in fact, I think it's terrific.
Let's keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Can I be sued for it or anything? No, right?
I know another story of it. We'll get
okay,
to. We want to talk about Last Comic Standing, but there's another great comic.
Here's how brave I am. You never heard Lenny Bruce say, "Have I gone too far? Am I going to get sued?"
That would have interrupted him reading from his transcripts. He didn't. He wasn't that self-aware. I'm on board with Mar, by the way, when it comes to Len Bruce. Now, hear me out.
But we don't want to get an argument about that. But I think Lenny Bruce was absolutely incredibly brilliant, and I think, Bob Odenkirk this way too. There's a lot of revisionist thinking about Lenny Bruce. I think he was brilliant.
I say re-listen to those albums. I don't want to try to. You have your opinion, I'll have mine.
Right.
But I listen to those, and I'll just go, you know what? This was great for the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think there's a lot of funny there.
If you listen to his anecdote about Shelley Berman getting heckled by, I invite anybody listening to this podcast to turn it off right now. And
wait a minute,
hold on.
I'm sorry. Is that the wrong way to go?
Hang on.
And listen to Lenny Bruce talk about Shelley Berman getting yelling at mafia guys in the audience. There's nothing funnier.
Well, I would like to hear that actually,
but I don't want to get off into a tangent. Anyway, let's go back to the thing.
All right. So,
what album is that on? Do you know?
No, because I took it from various different sources.
Okay.
You downloaded it. You stole it.
No, I buy everything.
Oh yeah,
I do buy everything.
You're a man of money.
Yeah, I have all.
This is a gentleman who is going to be one of the 3 judges on Last Comic Standing. It's the new Craig Robinson is the host. They've revamped this entire program, from what I understand. Now, one would say, and by one, I'm going to say me.
Yeah,
would say you've spent your entire career. And Last Comic Standing is something you've taken down.
Yeah, every year at Montreal went
you
nuts.
take it down. You hate Last Comic Standing.
Well, it's not the setup. Let's not create a mountain from which I can't get down from.
So when one says, hey, do you hear who the new judges are? Andy Kindler's one of them. Maybe somebody would go, what the fuck?
I think many people would do that.
So walk me through it. Now, let me say in advance. If they were to ask a Jimmy Pardo, would you like to be one of the 3 judges? I would push you down to take that job. I may push you down anyway. I think that would be a fun job.
Right.
So how does an Andy Kindler, who has so many opinions on standing up comedy, you have so many opinions on what's good, what's bad, what's hacky, what's original. How do you then see something, a gentleman goes up on stage and sucks? I have several questions. How do you handle that? How do you take the gig? And how did you get along with everybody else?
Well, here's the thing. It took me a long time to take the gig. I mean, I was very hesitant about it. But Paige Hurwitz is one of the producers. I think is fantastic. And she told me right from the beginning that they really were going to retool it and it was going to be different. And so it was one of these things like, first of all, I don't know if a lot of people know this about me, but I do need work. A lot of people think that I don't need...
Well, you've just said that, maybe it's affected your career.
Yeah, so I need work. I do need work. A lot of people think that's not true. They think I'm still making big money from the Raymond reruns. Right. So I need the work. And then the other thing was I had to say to myself, can I not take something just because I've criticized it before? And I realized that's kind of not the right reason to do it. The point that was made to me that I believed was... I love the other judges. I love Greg Giraldo. I love Natasha. I love Craig Robinson. And they weren't going to do anything with homes or challenges or make them live in a bowl of soup for 3 weeks or all the things that it's like all the things I didn't like. When I started comedy, I did like contests at the Ice House and different little things.
Let me. I apologize because I do want to hear you taking this. I actually enjoyed the challenges. That's the part of the show I kind of liked. I liked watching comedians be funny or not be funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? I liked Todd Glass on a bus being funny.
Well, that's right. I agree with you.
You know what I mean? Or I liked seeing. I can't think. I'm going to make up a name. I don't know. Johnny Jokesmith. I liked him failing on the bus. You know what I mean? I liked seeing that a guy that truly has funny in his bones. I think getting away from the stand-up stage showed you who is legitimately funny.
In the house too, when Bill Dwyer was in the house and Todd Glass. But then the other thing, I didn't see this, but I guess there was once where they went to the Playboy. They had to make
that
Playboy.
one was
see, well then if someone gets eliminated from that, you feel like, okay, this challenge is weird.
Yeah.
So that was it. And the other thing was, I said, I refuse to be Simon Cowell. I'm not going to be mean, because my whole thing, like my wife was saying, is like, you're always against people giving feedback, which is kind of true. It's like I always feel like if someone's new or coming along, you don't want to say anything. They could be on their own path and you don't see it. So they would totally said, do whatever you want. And so I was not mean at all in terms of like hurting people's feelings who there's no reason to hurt their feelings.
Right.
And so I was able to hopefully be funny just being myself. And so it was really fun.
Was anybody mean? Did Geraldo take the path? I mean, obviously we're going to watch it for ourselves and see this, but was somebody the quote unquote Simon Cowell of this thing?
I don't think so. Sometimes Greg was interesting because, Greg is like a really, he's extremely bright. He was like went to not that going to Harvard always means that
he's
you're
a
bright.
former attorney.
He's a former attorney, and so he's very articulate. So he was able to his point of view on things was really interesting and different. I would say the only person who got towards being maybe sometimes mean was Natasha, but that's just kind of her.
Yeah.
Her comedy can be that way too. So I think it came naturally to her, but no one went out of their way to say, oh, we're going to be the Simon Cowell or we're going to be mean just for the...
And so somebody gets up there. He's not doing a character. He's not trying to be bad on purpose. You see a guy a little rough. How do you handle it?
Well, that was the thing. The hardest thing of the whole process to me was seeing so many comics in such a short time frame. Because it's just not ultimately, someone could be funny. I know I miss people who were funny, and there were a lot of things that we did kind of drive me nuts after a while. I mean, like for some reason, people love to make fun of the homeless now. And I'm not saying you can't make fun of the homeless and have it funny, but I just think it's more sad than anything else. And just so many comics are going after the homeless.
Well, it's safe.
I guess it's safe.
You know what I mean? It's easy to make fun of. It's easy pickings.
Well, they're not going to be in the crowd, so you don't have to worry about that.
And still a lot of half and half. I'm half this and half that, and half that. And then a lot of stuff like that. I didn't realize, references to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or things I don't even know.
Wow.
What am I? I can't even think of one thing that would be like a cartoon.
Pokemon.
Yeah. What am I? What am I? A Pokemon or whatever the thing.
I don't know. Maybe you are.
So
you might be. I'm not sure.
You can't decide.
I don't know what Ellie's doing.
I was putting him in a little Pokemon.
Oh, I thought you were saying back off the mic. So that was the only hard thing was that you didn't know. But yeah, if someone was really terrible, and then they had some open calls too.
Right.
So some of those people some people are a little bit nutty, or they were trying to be nutty.
Well, and you want those for those episodes to show the Looney Tunes, and
I could play around with them more because they were like,
And you had to judge all that. Like you weren't exempt from like those early open call things.
I think we judged everybody. Yeah, I mean, I think that when they had these thousands of people online, not everybody got in or something.
Right,
so there was some kind of we just didn't have time.
Right.
Did you now? Let's go the other way. I'm fascinated by this. A friend of yours comes in. A David Feldman or a Kathy Ladman. They come in to do, or Jimmy Dore. They come in to do their standing up comedy. You know them. You've known that. You've known Kathy for 55 years.
Yes.
What do you say? How do you do it?
I went overly cruel with people that I knew. It was like, I've been wanting to get this off my chest since we started.
Perfect
You are
opportunity.
too Jewish. No, that was very hard. But a lot of these people, I can't divulge because of I actually signed the thing.
Sure.
Whatever that was. But some of those people that you're mentioning also were funny too. So it wasn't hard.
I did pick three that
but
are funny.
There were absolutely people that I knew. We couldn't pass everybody on to the thing, and so you hold the people who are. See, I could never enter. I could not enter at this point. it'd be hard. I mean, I would be hard, And I know I spoke to some people who asked me, should they enter and all. You never know. But I would hope people who I did know would know. It's like a crapshoot in a way. Not a crapshoot so much, but it's hard. If you know them. Boy, am I articulation seminar.
In fairness, though, I put you in a weird spot.
My dance, are you dancing around it?
Elliot makes a lot of moves and gestures over there.
We try to ignore it. It's just
really
better.
The best way to handle this would be to put up a sheet right here and just let him be in his own booth.
Very
I wouldn't have to
mime-like.
deal with him. He's over there making moves. Dan sits there like a gentleman. He doesn't flail about and take focus away.
Right. He's
So-
just
He also might be asleep. But
he's watching.
I swear to God, he goes into seizures. He snaps in. I look over. He's staring down at his shoes for 45 minutes. In fairness, they're good-looking shoes. You don't want to take your eyes off those things.
those are nice shoes.
What do you got on today,
Pumas?
Danny?
Pumas.
He's got Puma.
Suede.
I used to be a big Puma guy.
I don't find them comfortable, but I love the way they look.
That was why I got away from them.
Are those the middle-aged ladies who like the younger men? Are those Pumas? Huh? Come on, Jimmy. That's how I do it.
That may be my second favorite joke of yours now. I loved it. I didn't laugh because I
No,
was
you
so
didn't.
fucking thrilled with it. I loved it.
She's a Puma.
How did it take that goddamn long? Right?
She's a Puma. No
She's
question.
a Puma. I love it.
I didn't dislike it, but I'm not sure I understand what you see in it.
I love it.
He might be sarcastic. He might be
I'm
being
not. I wish
sarcastic.
No, I
I
don't
was.
think
This
he
is a
is.
guy. Let me tell you something about Andy Kindler. People like to talk about how much they love Andy Kindler. And, I like Andy. I like his balls. Bullshit. You're talking because you heard somebody else say they like them.
like his balls?
They like the balls.
the fact
Yeah, I that one passed me too.
You know what, though? I do like his balls.
I have velvet-like balls.
I don't doubt that. Right? I got black velvet balls.
What's that?
Have one of them glows in the dark.
Why am I laughing at that?
Because it was funny. Because it's funny. It's the theory of toast. If it's quick, it's funny. Anyway, I get this.
Roxio toast?
I looked
Did he say toast?
Yeah, he did say to us.
Roxio toast. Oh, you don't like these software jokes?
I love them.
Get Andy's once Andy gets started on technical
Yeah, QuickTime 6. More like QuickTime 5.
Andy does a lot of corporate events.
More like it's good. So what's going to happen? It's like, am I going to get a call from Alan Covert or?
Oh, you're going to get some calls.
Oh, okay.
Although nobody from the Handler Show has ever contacted us.
That's what I was wondering, if it's gotten back to her, because obviously.
How does it not? How does it
Well,
not?
because the people who would hear you would probably be like, there's nothing to gain in telling
by telling her, I think that somebody might hear. It's almost nothing. There's nothing to be gained by people telling Adam Carolla that I think half of his audience are full of morons, but they still went to him.
Yeah, people like to be a tattle.
So that's what I'm saying. People like go, hey, what do you think about Jimmy Pardo saying he can't stand you? And then she'll go, well, what do you think about Jimmy Pardo never being back on my show?
Mm-hmm.
Were you on her show?
I was on. It was a horrible experience.
Oh, well then.
It was a horrible experience.
That might be part of why you hate her so much.
What? No.
Deep down, I think what I'm saying is it might be part of it.
No. Oh no. My problem was I went into that with a bad attitude. I went in going,
Because she stinks.
I'm doing you a fucking favor. I'm here. You're lucky I fucking showed up.
Yeah, I guess my only point was I didn't hear a lot about how horrible she was until after that happened, which it might just be the fact that you were forced to confront how
but I was also on one of her first shows.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of time since then to talk about.
And also, before she had a show, there was no reason to talk about how horrible
Oh, there was
she
plenty of reasons. Her other horrible shows.
Well, but it wasn't like you didn't have to look at her billboard driving down the street, or you know what I mean.
Well, I did because I have her on my visor.
I'm trying to help.
There's no reason to help. I own this.
Okay.
I own it. And we got to take a break, and we're going to dig deeper into this. It's my Kindler's Leno. Mm-hmm. Kindler is so irate with Jay Leno. Mine is Chelsea Handler. I admit it.
Yeah.
I admit it's irrational. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. She doesn't take work away from me. Everything that I always say, why are you mad at that person? She's not taking work away from you. It's not your demographic. It's not affecting your life. Everything about that, I throw out the window when it comes to her. I don't understand it. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, this is similar to what you were saying, Andy, but I do have, and it's all taste and opinion and subjective, but I do have a problem when people that I think aren't talented succeed. It bothers me. I feel like there's no justice in that.
I'm sitting right here. I can hear everything.
You haven't
say.
succeed.
Yeah, everything you
certainly
say.
isn't talking about you.
Good.
You've had no success.
Got it. Good.
All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to dig deeper. Andy Kindler is here. He's one of the 3 judges on Last Comic Standing. We're thrilled to have him here. It's been a long time coming. I've known Andy. We met in Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll certainly touch base on that. That was 1990, I want to say, is when I first met this gentleman. We went to Denny's and had a delicious sandwich.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
I can't wait. Andy Kindler is here. I don't have to remind you. Elliot's here. He's flailing. Yeah, Dan is here. Matt is here. We'll be back more. Never Not Funny when, Matt?
Right after this.
Is this a word from our sponsor? Fantastic.
Yes.
Hey guys, Matt here with some dates for you. Andy Kindler is going to be at Comics in New York on June 4th and 5th. Jimmy Pardo is going to be doing Running Your Trap at the UCB Theater on June 3rd. And Jimmy's going to be at the Argosy Casino in St. Louis, Missouri on June 25th and 26th. Also, our good friend David Keckner is going to be headlining the Improv in Los Angeles on June 3rd. So if you're in LA, please check that out. Thanks.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Never Not Funny. I can't say that break was a good one. I usually come back and I rave about the breaks.
But this time it was...
We're on a very tight time schedule here.
I feel terrible about this.
No, it's not your fault. I blame traffic. I'm going to blame society.
Yeah.
As I often do. Anyway, we're lucky to have this gentleman here, Andy Kindler. He's on a tight schedule today, and why not? He's got junkets to get to. He's
very busy.
He's going to be one of the judges on the hot summer program, Last Comic Standing. That's going to make you a household name. You know that.
This is the first time I had this much exposure. Except for that time on the subway. Comedy. You never get tired of comedy.
That's an example of what
not to do.
He's able to judge others because of jokes like that.
Yes.
He's able to look down his nose at a Bill Maher.
And I'm a Jew and I can look down at my nose. Am I
wrong? Lady. Was
that all me?
No, he was in there too. Are you thinking, I think you should maybe, now that you have the success, you pitch a new comedy reality show called What Not to Do.
What not to do? Yeah. Who is the head of this particular network that I'm pitching a show? I hear that guy's a jerk. Let us know if you're going to pick up the show. Okay? How'd the meeting go? Okay, but don't tell the guy who's the head of the network he's a jerk.
I can almost guarantee that Lorne Michaels does not listen to our program. And
Lorne Michaels listens to nothing except his own voice.
I wouldn't be surprised if he listened.
What a blowhard.
We have a lot
We know other people on the 30 Rock staff do.
We have a lot of people secretly listen.
But what if Lorne Michaels listened to it and he goes, you know what? I am a blowhard. Why was I referencing Fredonia? Why would I make people wait for 3 hours?
You think this is going to cure
Yes,
it?
absolutely.
I think, you know what? That's why you're the voice of the people.
Yes.
You got to let these billionaires know. You got to let them know.
Yeah, here's what you're doing wrong.
Right? Straighten
Gather
them
round.
out.
So should I tell the Jay Leno thing real quick?
Well, hang on. Let's get into it comfortably.
Okay.
Let's get into it
All right.
organically.
Okay.
Andy Kindler, who is we've established, has made mistakes. He has chosen to go down a path of bad mouthing other performers and their successes. I've asked if he's uncomfortable, if he's afraid of running into these people. Now you have the opportunity. You are very outspoken on your anger at Jay Leno, your hatred.
I don't.
Hatred's a strong word.
Hatred's a strong word because I really don't hate the guy like I don't like Milosevic. Is that current? Milosevic?
Hey, coming up top of the hour. I got it.
Top of the hour with comedy references.
Back to 1994.
I don't even know who that is. My brain is freezing.
The guy from the Serb conflict in the 90s.
Serbo-Croatia.
He was.
Why am I?
He was a genocidal maniac.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I'm not against him like you are.
Serbia, Bosnia.
That's why I didn't understand the negativity, so I just didn't think about it. All right, so one day you're out and it happens. You run into Jay Leno. Go.
Okay, my wife, who's a photographer, was doing a shoot, and she was shooting this like kind of a model person, and the model's mother. They went to get some sodas, or whatever, and they came back. Hey, Jay Leno's down the street, and his car's broken down. Anybody want to go down there and take a look? And to me, it seemed like the most hilarious thing in the world would be see Jay Leno looking around with one of those crazy cars that runs on rice or whatever the thing is. A car that made out of
he drives around in like a 1910 T model Ford.
Well, any given day. I mean, you could show up and he's sitting sitting 20 feet up in the air on some crazy stilt chair, and he's got he's with a steering wheel, and it doesn't know. Hey Jay, hey Ding.
Yeah, people who live in LA most know that you can see him in a crazy car.
Hey, watch this. I mean, he's in like a cotton gin, whatever the heck.
Right, he's going on a thing on a turbine. I mean, it's on, what is it?
Combine.
Combine. What did I say?
Turbine.
What's a
Combine.
turbine?
Turbine's a type of engine.
Right, he's got a turbine engine in the combine.
Oh boy.
Go on.
So I said that'd be great. So I said, yeah, I'd love to see that. So I walked down with this mother of the model, and she says, "Do you know Jay Leno?" I said, "Well, I know him, but I'm a Letterman guy, and I make fun of him, and he knows I make fun."
So you knew Jay Leno in the 80s, right?
Oh yeah, but very briefly. I mean, I met him at the Kind of Magic Club. No, I mean, we never hung out. I mean, he's from a different generation, kind of.
Right.
I'm young, and so so this makes me
Wet
need
your
to be
whistle.
hydrated.
Wet your whistle.
So I walked down there and I said, yeah, I'm not a big Leno fan. I'm a Letterman fan. And he knows when you talk badly about him. And she goes, really, you don't like Leno? I know, I love Leno, and I have a friend who writes on the show, and I forgot the name of the friend. So anyway, we're walking, and we're across the street, and I say, you want to go closer? And she goes, yeah, I'd love to go closer. And then as soon as we start walking across the street, I realize I've made the worst mistake of my life because it's stupid,
crazy.
In general, it's awful.
The whole thing's awful.
Hey, want to go?
No. Right.
That would have been the answer.
You want to go see a rabid wolf? Sure, I'm going to go walk over to this rabid wolf.
So as halfway across the street intersection, I realized that she is going to make a beeline for Jay Leno, and I thought we were going to walk. So I walk past her as if I don't know her.
Right.
As she walks up to Jay Leno, and I walk to a area that of the like under the freeway where you would not be walking unless you had a gas can in your hand. That she's just been thrown from a car,
right?
And then I hear her say, "I'm in," and then Andy Kindler, and then I hear Leno, which I think he said, "Andy Kindler, yeah, that's the guy who hates me." I see that from like 15 yards away, and then I have to walk back there, and now I'm sitting next to Jay,
Jesus
and she goes, "Yeah, that's the guy who hates me," and then the woman, like as if I didn't have the conversation, goes, "Why do you make jokes? Why do you hate him?" I said,
In front of Jay.
Yeah, in front of Jay. Why do you know I don't hate him? And then Jay Leno actually says, "No, it's okay to hate. It's okay to hate." That's my thing. I'll never forget about that. I said something about Jay finds out when people have said things about him, and he kind of was trying to make it like he'd seen me do it on TV or something like that.
But he didn't.
He didn't. It was people told him. Jimmy Brogan. I know Jimmy Brogan. Once I followed Jimmy Brogan at the Improv, and he said something nasty about me after, or he went out after me and he said something nasty.
Jimmy Brogan did?
Yeah, years ago.
Jimmy Brogan's the nicest.
Yeah, but he was mad. I was slamming
he was
Leno
defending
at the
his
time.
buddy, yeah.
At the time, yeah.
Well, let's be fair to him. He's defending his buddy. If somebody went up and was shitting on you, I might go up afterwards and go, "Hey, Andy's my friend, and I appreciate that, and good luck to you and your open mic endeavors."
Yeah, or you might say, "Look, I agree with what you said, but there's no reason to." There's no reason to go that.
There's no reason to say it publicly.
So that was, and then the only other time was I hosted a thing at the Improv, the benefit, and I said you might recognize our next performer from his appearances on the Jay Leno show, whatever the joke was, and he said to me, "It kills you to have to do this." To introduce him.
He said it again?
He said it to me as I was handing the mic off to him. He goes, "It kills you to have to do this."
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. He knows it. It does kill. It kills him.
I mean, he's a guy. You've said this, I think. He's a guy that keeps track of everybody. You just said it, actually.
Yeah, well, because he's called up. I mean, he even called up Bill Hicks when Bill Hicks was making fun of him.
Yeah.
He calls up comics. "Why did you say this thing about me?"
Yeah.
So there's no way he wouldn't have heard about your State of the Union thing, because that's a huge thing in comedy.
Right.
And over the years, pretty much every year he comes up.
And that goes back to my theory. My theory is that he knows deep down that there's something to be made fun of about what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Well, don't you think you could see it? We talked about it on the show. When he does his man on the street stuff, or when he does private gigs, or you see him at the comedy, he's a pretty funny guy.
Well, he used to be.
He's sharp, and he's with it. But then the second he gets on that program, he's lame. And so I think I think you're exactly right. He knows it. And he knows, what? He's making fun of exactly what I do hate that I'm doing. And so it makes him uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, I think he probably a lot of that stuff is the backstory of his feud or whatever with Letterman. I think like Letterman is perceived to have taken the high road of like, I'm going to stick to I'm going to keep doing what I do and let the chips fall where they may. And Leno really did look like a guy who was like brilliantly funny and talented and was like, I'm going to dumb it down to be popular, to be successful.
And I think they also dumbed down. I think in a lot of ways they dumbed down that time period on NBC, kind of. You know what I mean?
Well, they certainly
it's like
did after January 22nd.
Right, but it's like, I mean, it's hard to build out of that hole.
Right, like maybe that was Conan's
it's like Conan
problem in some ways. Like the audience,
there was no problem. He was getting the ratings for the demographic they wanted.
No, I know, but
he was doing everything they asked him to do. He just wasn't Jay Leno.
But would he have done better if people weren't used to seeing really?
He would have done better had Jay Leno not be on at 10 o'clock, getting rid of all the people that were watching, who then went over to CBS to watch CSI, who then just stayed watching Letterman and not coming back to watch Conan.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all, I mean, it cannot be. I'm not yelling at you, but it cannot be easier to see as to why Conan didn't it didn't happen the way that NBC thought it would. They fucking sandbagged him.
Right, no question. But,
and network sandbagged their own guy.
But don't you also think that 17 years of what Leno was doing at that time slot sets him up for like, well, who's going to be there to watch it? Who's the audience?
No question, but again, he was hitting the demographic they wanted.
Yeah.
We're done. We want the younger crowd to come in and start watching, and that was happening.
And then they went back on that. They basically pretended that was their strategy, and then they decided, well, because we don't want to pay Leno whatever they would have had to pay him to fire him, we'll just make the switcheroo and pretend like we weren't planning for
and here's the other thing. Conan O'Brien adjusted his program.
Sure.
He adjusted from late night to the Tonight Show. He adjusted, and in my opinion, was doing a terrific job. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I worked there. He brought back the fun of Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. He was having a good time. He was doing good interviews. He listened to people, which is maybe what the viewer wasn't used to. He wasn't used to people having a follow-up relevant to what the person just said.
Yeah.
He was doing funny sketches. He was doing what they wanted him to.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I'll say is that the only thing that I think the mistake, obviously, but the thing that I would never have trusted is back in 2004 when Leno said he was leaving the show. I wouldn't have believed it for 1 minute.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't know how with the people who are around Conan, there are such high-powered, quote high-powered people. I don't know why who would ever have seen that? How could you have ever trusted that guy?
You know why? Here's why I would have. And this is I've said it before. It's a Letterman's quote. You don't stick around in the lobby waiting for them to offer another job. You go across the street and make them pay for their mistake. So I think even Conan probably went, even if Jay wants to stick around, he'll go to ABC. He'll be my competition. He won't be my competition at my own network.
Right.
That's my guess. I'm guessing because who would have thought you stick around going, hey, okay, I'll stick around. You want to give me another job? I'll take it. Nobody would ever think that. You'd all think he'd go to ABC.
I just don't try. I just don't think he's. But if you look what he did with at all the stuff with Dave, it's like, and he said they blamed it on Helen Kushnick, but look at all that stuff. I just don't trust that guy. I don't trust that Jay Leno.
So all right, so you're at his car. It's broken down. Do you call somebody for help for him?
Yeah, then we got...
Do you help him lift the tire?
I looked under the hood. I took...
Because you know a lot about cars.
I know. We compared notes. He has a slightly larger garage.
How many cars do you have in your collection?
I have two right now.
You've got the two?
I have I love this car, and people, I think it's like a classic. It's a 1989 Honda Accord.
You got the 89?
Yes, I do. I really preserved that.
You know what? When you get the 89, a lot of people don't know about cars, and you certainly don't know about cars as much as I do.
No, that's true.
The 89 Accord is a collector's item, and if you have the ability to have one in pristine condition like Mr. Kindler does here.
Is it champagne?
I choose to have it.
Champagne. What color is your Accord?
It's white.
Oh, it's the white Accord.
That's even more rare. The champagne, if you can keep that paint pristine.
I also put red. We put red over the where the broken tail light came out.
You put the red tape so you can still see the light through it?
Still a red tape. Yeah, it's cherry.
That's my coffee. I've been sick.
Oh, we're good.
Remember when I was here when we did our last shows with Greg and Al? I've been sick for 2 weeks.
Thanks for telling me now.
I don't know what's happening. I'm going to the doctor today. I'm finally going to the MD today.
You're going to Vinny Bubats?
You know my doctor, Dr. Vinny Bubats.
Is that really? Is your accountant? Who's your accountant? The bombastic Bushkin?
Yes. I don't know that one, so I'm going to say just say yes.
That's Johnny Carson's attorney.
Oh, is that right?
The bombastic Bushkin.
That's
his name really is Bushkin, whereas I don't think Vinny Boombots is a real name.
You don't think
Rodney
so?
Dangerfield.
Sure.
Here's my favorite Rodney Dangerfield setup, though, is I'm okay now, but last week was rough. I love that as a setup.
Yeah, I'm okay now, but last week was rough.
Last week was rough. Last week there was a problem.
You have to, as a guy, a gentleman, a love of comedy. You like the veterans. You have to watch Rodney, and you just love every second of it.
He's so incredible.
Right? Even though people would argue, yeah, but he had 35 writers. I don't give a shit. This man delivered those, and those jokes were well crafted for that character. And God damn it,
they wouldn't. I don't think they would have been funnier coming from any other person. Like, so he did something, or they wouldn't have been as funny. I guess.
God, I love him. When he comes on the XM, because his clips on his albums are only like 2 minutes long. They don't last long enough because they only play one track on XM. They play it for 2 minutes. Just when I go, I want to hear another 90 minutes of Rodney, and then boom, here comes Bill Engvall. Bill Engvall's another guy that I got to live in fear of, for Christ's sake.
People keep telling me these bits that Ryan never heard. If somebody told this bit about Rodney, it's like something like, everybody's going into business with their father. I'm going into business with my father. Oh, yeah, I'm in business with my father. Actually, my father's father started the business, which is good because my father and I don't know what the fuck we're doing. What happened with you and Bill Engvall?
I'm outspoken. I think he should wake up every day and kiss the ass of a Jeff Foxworthy doll.
So he should have a sign on him saying
I'm stupid, saying I'm bland. I went on Bob and Tom and gave my opinion on Bill Engvall.
No wonder you see you're saying that you are doing the same thing I'm doing in many ways.
Well, just two. Just the Engvall
just
handler.
Just Engvall and Handler?
And Evan Handler, the two handlers, and Bill Engvall.
And then all the stuff with Sandler?
I got no problem with Sandler.
I'm just trying to drag him in. I'm trying to drag him into
I got no problem with
That was
Sandler.
your story. That was my story.
I just got
I know our voices sound similar.
No, there's others. I mean, there's others I speak of off the air, but for the most part, I like to laugh and enjoy comedy. But
I can't wait for Grown Ups to come out.
I like the Billboard. I think it's original.
Wait a minute. You just buried the hatchet with Sandler.
Yeah,
You're going to start it up again?
Oh, that was kind of nice. That was a nice thing to bury the hatchet. But that doesn't mean that when Grown Ups comes out, I'm not going to go nuts.
I'm going to see it.
Kevin James is in that movie. I can't.
That really is one where someone's going to come out of the water and a fish is going to go in
Yeah.
their mouth.
Oh, that might be in the preview.
It's probably in, like, it's the trailer is like, I'm in a swimming pool, and the side of it collapses and he goes,
Yeah.
Then there's another swimming pool scene. How many swimming pool scenes are in this movie?
And then he swings on the rope and, I'm not going to let go. I'm going to swing back and hit a tree.
I'm going to see it.
I'm glad that Kevin James is getting a shot, though. That's the thing I like about that. Is a guy like that.
Now, you started with Kevin James, right?
No, everybody thinks that. People think I'm Patton Oswalt too.
Because you're the real king of Queens. That was based on you, actually.
Yes.
You're from Queens.
I am.
You are a king.
I am Queens Boulevard. What's that from? Have you ever heard me do the Entourage? Learning the vowels using the show Entourage.
No.
You ready?
Yes.
A-E. I owe you. Sometimes why? Put Ari on the phone. Hey, I owe you. Sometimes why? Put Ari on the phone.
I love it. That's a good show. I enjoy that program.
A great show. That show really nails it.
Is it? I mean, like you and I have sat through a lot of Sex in the Cities.
I watch every Entourage, but it really is off the hook. There's no irony to it.
I'm sorry. What is it?
You might be misusing
off the hook.
I'm sorry. What is it?
No, is it get good? It's in the house. It's really in the house.
Who are you?
What am I saying?
You're wrong things.
Good to go?
Yeah, there we go. We're good to go.
No, it's ridiculous. And they're always high-fiving at the end of the show. But I'm afraid to make fun of that show because I really do feel like if you made fun of Mark Wahlberg too much,
you get
he'd
killed.
punch me. I don't want to get punched out.
Oh, he'll kill you.
Yeah. So I think Sandler could punch me out, but I don't think he would.
No, Sandy doesn't need that kind of hassle. I don't think that Wahlberg would do it either. I think one of his entourage, if I may, would come over and just punch you in the stomach and walk away, and you'd go, "What's that?" And you go, "That's for entourage. A-I-O-U. Sometimes why? Boom!" And he punches you in the gut and walks away. You lose. You got to watch it. I can see you taking on Leno.
He's from the streets. So.
You know what brings me down when they show the Lakers thing now and they show all the stars? You're like, yeah, and then it's Jeremy Piven. Oh, no.
What contracts are written up to make you? Because there are other celebrities at those games, but there's always the Piven. I mean, obviously they could show Jack, but I just feel like there's some networking. There's some contract situation where and it's always a guy who's got a movie coming out. That's the other thing I hate.
Yeah, I know. Or that station and
well, listen, agencies own those seats,
right?
And they put their high profile guy in there so that you can get a good look.
But sometimes you catch a glimpse of somebody. Hey, I see like Sandler's there most of the time.
Yeah,
he likes basketball. Why wouldn't he be there?
Right, but they don't show him except for the few times where he's got a movie coming out.
Yeah, right. I apologize.
The genius of Entourage, if I may, is that they saw other shows and they're like, you know what, these are great, these are fine, but what I want to do is a show with no conflict because
conflict.
There is the conflict. Will he or will he not be Aquaman? Will he or will he not be charismatic this episode? There's a lot of conflict.
We know the answer to the second one. He will not.
How is a guy with no charisma playing a guy that's supposed to have the most charisma in Hollywood?
You talking about Vinny O? Vinny D?
I don't know who I'm talking about.
Vinny Chase?
That's his name.
Vincent Chase.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm very serious about this.
The movie?
I'm looking forward to seeing Killers. Because why shouldn't you have two D-list television stars star opposite each other in a movie? My God.
What's this one?
Ashton Kutcher and Katherine Heigl. It's like they took two people. Like I can't think of more perfect casting. Hey, America likes these two for no apparent reason. Put them in a movie. Why aren't you more angry about this?
Yeah, it's like
I'm intrigued. Is it about Twitter? Is the movie about Twitter?
And you know what? That's another thing. What am I? I don't know why I'm Louis Black this show. That's another thing I'm mad about. Candy bars. Can't be mad at candy, Louis. Britney Spears just overtook him for the most Twitter followers. And what was his response? Who cares? Well, 3 months ago, you fucking did, because I had to hear every interview talking about how you can't wait to beat CNN, having the most followers on Twitter.
You mean King's Things? He wanted to be King's Things.
Is that what? Is that?
That's Larry the King.
I don't watch enough of Larry King to know there's a segment called King's Things.
It's basically like his old column.
Oh, okay.
You know, like just these stupid, pointless musings. Like Pat Francis makes fun of it in his Twitter thing, which is great. But it's always like, one thing I can't get enough of: guacamole.
Here's my King's thing then.
Yeah.
And I'm serious about this. Have you had the grapes at Target?
No.
Have you bought the grapes at Target?
No.
Anybody?
Do me a favor.
Oh my
Thank you
God.
now.
Thank
you later.
me now.
Okay.
They are. I don't know what vineyard they're getting them from.
Right.
These are the best grapes you've ever had in your entire life.
Wow.
And I like grapes.
Our Target doesn't.
And you like
have
grapes.
but
I like grapes, and I'm telling you, these are the best grapes I've ever had from a department store.
I think I'd be more impressed if you didn't like grapes.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't like grapes.
I understand.
And I don't like grapes.
I guess what I was trying to say is I hear what you're saying. I like grapes. These are even better. I mean, take it from a guy that likes grapes. These are good grapes.
Wow.
Your Target's about to have it, by the way.
Yeah, because they're I'm so psyched. They're revamping it to be more of a supermarket.
They said fresh produce coming in June something.
Yeah.
Is Target a department store? Because I feel like it's not. I feel like you have to be nicer to be a department store.
No, what are you talking about? I think it's a department store.
Sears was a department store.
Well, then what?
Sears is a flea market. Don't fucking talk about Sears being yes.
Target is
when Roebuck was involved, that was a department store. When it was Sears Roebuck, now we're talking about a department store.
I just think a department store, you have to have a guy in a suit who's trying to sell you stuff.
Well, I will say this. I don't disagree with that, Elliot. I think a department store shouldn't have carts. A cart. Once you throw carts into the mix, you're taking it away to department store status.
What do you call that store then?
I don't know.
A big box.
A big box store. But fuck that phrase too. That's a guy. Like it, that's a guy's being fancy with his words.
Yeah,
isn't this the kind of thing that they argue about during Hot Topics on The View?
Yes,
sort of. What we are.
All right, you have to go.
I have to go. Do you want to say goodbye as I'm leaving, type of thing? Make it part of the show. What do you want to do?
Let's take another quick break, and we'll come back and do. We'll close it up with another 8 to 10.
Okay.
Andy Kindler has a pressing matter he's got to get to, and why not?
Thank you,
He's the
Jimmy.
star of the new program, Last Comic Standing.
Yeah.
We're thrilled to have you on the show. You're welcome back anytime. You know that.
I'm so glad I was able to do this.
Finally!
Because I've been wanting to do this for
Magic.
years.
You're magic on the mic.
This is truly one of the funniest men on the planet. If you don't have him, you can go to his website, AndyKindler.com. Download whatever you need to do. Take a look at those photographs. His wife is one of the best photographers in the world.
Thank you.
Beautiful wife, Susan. We're glad to have you.
And you are hilarious, my friend. There's nobody funnier than Jimmy Pardo. I've said that for years.
God, if only-
Hilarious.
Maybe, you know what? I'm hoping this Last Comic Standing thing helps me.
It will. It
I'm
will.
helping you. Being able to get out there and do interviews will help my career.
We're going to take it all to the next level.
Are you ready for the next level?
I am.
Are y'all ready for this? Andy Kindler, everybody.
Thank
Welcome
you,
back to more
everybody.
Never Not Funny right after this. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Never Not Funny. My name is still Jimmy Pardo. Why wouldn't it be? We took 2 breaks this episode. That second one was a break that we should have taken to begin with. I had to relieve my bladder
Thank you.
in such a way.
Can I tell the public what the joke you made on the phone to me last week?
No.
You would just no. You guys would never.
All right,
believe,
go ahead. You can share it.
You guys would never believe that Jimmy Pardo made this joke. He's like, all right, we were ending our phone conversation. He was on his cell phone. He said, I gotta go.
I was sitting in the Target parking lot finishing our conversation. That's very important.
Yeah, he was like, I gotta go. I gotta run in here, get some toilet paper, because I gotta wipe my ass, because it's covered in shit. Jimmy Pardo made that joke.
That's why it's funny. You don't expect that from me.
It was funny, and I mean, I would have laughed at that joke anyway because I love that kind of joke. But it's even funnier coming from someone.
I did like the
you
idea
least
of
expect.
I drove to Target, still stayed on the phone with you, but I'm out of toilet paper,
Yeah,
and I just
In
still
the
was
car.
like in the car, just
Yeah.
hot, sweaty,
disgusting.
awful, gross. At any rate, I went inside. I got myself a 24 pack. We get the one with the aloe.
Oh, aloe.
Get that aloe. That's a treat for the
Talking about
turkeys.
aloe vera?
Yes.
Do we
nice.
really want to talk about toilet paper? Because I have
No,
No.
Well, because in Germany.
I guess we're gonna.
Well, Germany.
What?
no, I don't want to talk about Germany either.
What? What do you mean, Germany?
I've been to Germany twice, and both times I have noted that they use cardboard for toilet paper. You would hate it. If you ever go to Germany, bring your own toilet paper.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Elliot. I hate you. So imagine. No, I do. Of course, I do not. Do not hate Elliot.
This is a travel tip. Is all I'm saying.
I got reasons alone not to go to Germany.
What's
My
the
wife
tip?
is a
Don't
Jew.
go there.
No, actually, it's quite nice.
What are you gonna do? You gonna kill Jews?
Drink.
How do they not have regular toilet paper when they make the most luxurious cars in the world?
Well, that's what they do.
Have you been in a BMW? It's not. It's luxurious, but it's not. It's very angular. And
It is
efficient.
angular, and I will say this: the
We've got a person standing outside. What's going on? Over there?
the seats aren't as comfortable. Like it's a harder leather.
Yeah.
You're right. Everything's tight. Precision engineering.
Wrapped up tight. Everything's cameo.
Hey.
All right, anyway, Andy Kindler was our guest on this episode. We were thrilled to have him. What a joy. He had to run off. He had a pressing engagement. So Dan and Elliot are closer to the microphone than I will ever have them be again. And you just heard why. The Germany toilet paper anecdote.
Oh, come on!
You heard it. You have headphones on. You heard how dull that was.
Like the German toilet paper.
Dan has some questions of the week. You got a question of the week?
Yes.
All right, let's do this. This is Dan Katz. He's our intern, and this is one of the reasons he was hired over the other applicants.
Because look at it.
But because he's
He knows how to read. Go ahead, Danny. What do we got?
Okay, Chris G. Chambers wrote, file folder divider tabs describe the contents in front of them or behind them.
Wow.
There's one way to do it, and I'm going to tell you something. My wife does it the wrong way, and in our coupon box, and she puts she goes behind. Wait a minute.
What? What's behind?
Puts the coupons behind the P.
No. Yeah. No, it goes in front.
Wait a minute. What are you saying?
The label goes behind. The
All right.
contents go in front.
So if you're doing Z,
Yeah.
the Z is at the very back of your file cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
The Z placard is the very last thing at the back of the file
Yes.
cabinet. The Z is in front of that. Y placard. Y in,
Yes.
all the way up to the front.
So that when you take it, you go, and then
and there they
everything's
are.
right there.
My wife puts it behind. Example: toilet paper would be behind the T. So then I go
that's
looking,
insane.
and then there's a.
Wait a minute. All right. I'm sorry. I got to clarify this. That I understand what we're asking here. The file folder itself has a tab.
Yes.
You could put the folder with the opening towards you, or flip it around. And of course, flipping it around would be wrong because you lift it out, everything falls out behind it.
That's right.
Okay.
You put it in the back.
Right. But then if you have actual separators for different sections that are
Right.
not file folders.
But you still follow the same protocol.
No, I disagree. I think
you're
because
wrong.
the very first thing in the front is your first letter. In other words, you open your drawer, it's right there at the front. You don't have it further back, do you?
No, you're looking at what's in front. Basically, it's here's the T, and you see that if you have to go past the T to see T,
Then you're in the U's as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, you're-
Imagine you're in a record store.
Yeah, all right.
You walk in and there's your A's.
Right.
You know, and there's your divider bin, as they were called, thing for Asia. Your albums are in front of that placard that says Asia.
So it says
Or like
Asia,
a
and then
binder.
everything's right here.
Like a binder in high school.
It's behind it. You got to go behind, right?
Yes. Dan?
Yes,
Dan agrees.
I agree.
Dan agrees. Elliot, what are you talking
Because
about?
now here's why I disagree. Here's why I disagree. Because especially in the binder thing, you go to grab that part, you open it out, and everything behind it is what's in that section. It's like a table of contents. If you're in a table of contents in a book, you don't put all the stuff in the table of contents in front of the section. Page 45 is
It's not a
letter
book.
H.
It's a file folder.
I
It's the
understand that,
file
but-
folder. Yeah, boy, oh boy, I can't believe that. Number one, we're getting any legs out of this conversation. I assumed this was it goes
slam
in
dunk.
front.
Yeah.
my wife's wrong. We move on.
I was already out the door getting a sandwich for lunch. I didn't think we would still be here.
Let me say in advance, if you get a goddamn egg sandwich, Elliot, great. I will kick you in the balls.
I was thinking about you the other day because I was over at Amalfi near Acme. Mm-hmm.
Amalfi is a wonderful restaurant here in Los Angeles.
Love very many of its various wonderful dishes.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently they had some kind of a special that this guy had, and I went in there. I was on my way to the Beverly, whatever it is, for the midnight movie.
Not important.
Not important, but anyway. so I'm getting a drink, and I'm standing next to this guy who's got the worst smelling thing in the world. It's like fishy and eggy. And I remembered your comment about how you hate the smell of egg things.
Yes.
Now, normally I don't have that problem in general, but this particular thing was horrible. Horrible.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then I asked the guy, I said, so what'd you get? And he said, oh, I got the special. And he explained what it was. And there weren't any eggs in it, by the way. So I'm a little worried as to why it smelled of eggs. And it's wonderful. And as though I was asking him because I wanted to order it. No, I was asking him so that I
want
would
to
know
avoid it.
exactly. So I'd avoid this thing. They have wonderful food there, but this particular thing smelled. It was the worst smelling. Just thinking about it now, I'm choking from.
Nauseates me, Elliot. The
I'm
fact that
nauseated.
you thought you could tell that story and get away with it. How dare you? That reminds me, I once talked to a gentleman who had hair plugs. The worst hair plugs I've ever seen in my life. And I said to this guy, who did you go to? And he goes, you don't want to go to my guy. In my head, I'm going, of course I don't want to go to your guy. Tell me who it is so I can avoid him. I don't want to make the mistake of going to him.
Yeah.
And he would never tell me who he went to. What do you think of that?
Weird.
But he told you to avoid him?
He said, you don't want to go to my guy. I know that. I could see your head. It's horrible.
Oh, so he was like, I'm going to save you the pain of not going to my guy, so I'm not going to tell you.
But that's not the way it works, though, because now you've got a Russian roulette of getting his guy.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You might
Which,
get
by the
him-
way, I'm not going to. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
you don't
any
need
guy.
to. You have a thick, luscious
Gorgeous head of hair. We've talked about it in the past.
Yes. In
Beautiful
fact, I think
head.
we're all in that boat
Of what?
of having good hair.
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
I don't know about Dan. in the
Dan's
future.
young, so you don't
Yeah.
know where he's going.
Sure. we have
Dan's
no
not
idea.
as young as you think. He's 31 years old. How old?
29.
He's 29. He's going to be 31 in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
He could already have been bald.
But he's not. That's a good-looking head of hair.
Thank you.
If you grew that out, it would look gorgeous. It wouldn't look right on your head of hair.
not-
No, I think he'd look like a surfer if Dan grew his hair out.
Sure.
This is not an insult at all, but just an observation. I think you're going to be bald in 10 years.
I'm doing Propecia.
Oh, okay.
Are you really?
I grew some of my hair back. I was
Nice.
balder a couple years ago.
See?
How's your...
It didn't affect erections.
Didn't affect it at all?
No.
Good
Boy,
news.
oh boy, I couldn't get a hard on for 6 years after when I took 2 Papricia.
Really?
It's a true story.
6 years, man. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
I'm crying inside.
Yeah, if you can't get an erection for more than 6 years, contact your physician.
You probably should have.
I just stopped taking Propecia.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. That was a fun quick little segment. with you
Yeah.
guys, huh?
Look at
Fire
us!
away.
Look at us with the segments. It's almost
Right?
like
Hey.
a professional show.
Right, we got to the bottom of this
File tab.
business. Who was
Turn-
that? Craig T. Nelson, who wrote in?
Chris G.
Why are you taking that away from them?
Well, I thought we were wrapping it up.
What are you doing?
We were, but usually we don't move the microphones until.
What are you doing?
Until we're actually stopped recording.
Frankly, I don't need to hear Elliot anymore. It's enough is enough.
You know I control the cameras.
We
right?
got the gist.
I was asking a question, though, and you took it right away
All
from
right,
me.
well, ask him. There you go.
What's the name of the fella?
Chris G. Chambers.
Chris G. Chambers, huh? Christopher G. Chambers.
What if it was Craig T. Nelson?
I'm telling you, man, the more that I'm out there, and I don't know why I became a hippie,
Yeah.
the more so many famous people tell us that they listen to this show.
Yeah?
It's
Craig T. Nelson?
fascinating to me. It wouldn't surprise me if Craig T. Nelson did.
If Craig T. Nelson is listening, I don't know if it's up to him or not, but I watch his program Parenthood, which I enjoy quite a bit. But I would like to get a haircut for that gentleman because he has the worst hair.
Because it's not real.
But he's bald on top, but then he has this like
He's hanging on to what he's got, brother.
He's got a Prince Valiant cut.
It's not even real. It's not. Those are plugs.
But why? But cut the back. It's so
He's the guy I'm talking
horrible.
about when I said, "Who's your guy?"
Oh,
Craig
dear.
T. Nelson.
I apologize.
Why are you doing this to me?
This is awkward.
All right, we're done. On behalf of the producer, Matt Belknap, our intern, Tabasco Ears, Danny Katz, from INDHD.com, Elliot Hochberg, my name is Jimmy Pardo. We'll see you next time on the podcast. AK-47, go on, not forgotten.